Hello, dear students, how are you? Hope you all are well. आज 7 जून 2020 है. कोविड एरा का और लॉकडाउन पीरियड का ये 74वां दिन है. लगभग 74 दिन हो गए हैं और 74 दिनों से निरंतर हम लोग किसी न किसी शैक्षणिक गतिविधियों से जुड़े हुए हैं. क्लासेस भी खत्म हुए हैं, कोर्सेज भी खत्म हुए हैं, लेकिन समय के साथ साथ चूँकि स्टिल वी आर इन लॉकडाउन पीरियड, मे बी दिस इज़ अनलॉक्ड वन पीरियड, लेकिन कॉलेज नहीं खुला है, एग्ज़ाम शुरू नहीं हुआ है, तो हमको डिस्कशन जारी रखना चाहिए. तो आज हम एक ऐसे इशू पर बात करेंगे जो रेलिवेंट भी है, और देर आर सम इकोनॉमिस्ट एंड देर आर सम एक्सपर्ट्स who just come out with certain videos on YouTube about the Moody's rating, which published on 1st June 2020, and Moody's had downrated the India's rating. A lot of views came. So I thought I should also come with certain views. So I have named this topic or title Rating Moody versus Modi's Mood in COVID era. Again I am repeating, rating Moody versus Modi's Mood in COVID era. यानी मूडीज जो एक रेटिंग एजेंसी है, इंटरनेशनल रेटिंग एजेंसी है पाश्चात्य देश का, और मोदी जो हमारे देश के प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैं, उन दोनों का मूड कोविड एरा में क्या कहता है, और उससे वी हैव टू एनालाइज the economics also as well as our positive attitude also. So again I am repeating that we are in COVID era, and till date, till 7th June morning, world has witnessed almost 70 lakhs people affected by coronaviruses, and more than 4 lakh people have been died around the world, and most of the people died in USA, that is 1,12,000. And affected, there the case is affected in USA is nearly 20 lakhs. Okay, and every Western countries have been mostly affected in term of mortality or fatality in this COVID era. But India's case is rising, but still India is able to control her mortality rate, and it is today's date is 6,946 mortality. Okay, so this is reality of the COVID in terms of mortality. Okay, and the dimensions I used to say in every lecture, the dimensions of the impact of COVID is global public health, economic effect, domestic politics, international security dynamics, globalization will disrupt, financial markets will take a hit, consumer spending will fall, manufacturing output will suffer, energy consumption will decline. This is global impact, and if we live in globe, then India is a part of globe. So when we have to discuss anything, we have to discuss around the world. Okay, so the Asian Development Bank has estimated earlier that the global economic cost of coronavirus is whooping to nearly $4 trillion. So these are our impacts. But amid in between this era, on 1st June, suddenly, I don't know why, Moody downgraded India's rating. Why only India's rating downgraded? Or why we are talking only about India's rating? When COVID had affected globally, and the globe is melting down, and globe's economics position has been hit, then why we should talk only of India's rating? But anyway, let's talk what Moody's tell. Moody's Investor Services cut India's credit rating to Baa3 from Baa2, that is downgraded one position, and kept a negative outlook on June 1st, 2020. Okay, saying there will be challenges in implementing policies to mitigate the risk of sustained period of low growth and deterioration of fiscal position. whole gold is have been impacted by COVID. Why you are talking of India only? And the rating agency downgraded India's rating to Baa3 from Ba2 and also maintained the outlook from stable to negative. Of course, it may be negative. The whole world is in the verge of negative. So Moody's estimated India's growth to shrink by 4% GDP, first full physical contraction in more than 4 decades, as the country faces a prolonged period of slower growth. Okay, it's okay. COVID comes first time in the globe. Anonymous and annoyed disease. Nobody knows about the COVID, but that hit the globe, and of course India will also hit. So the this rating, what is rating? What is Moody's rating? This is founded by John Moody in 1909. Moody's Investor Service or Moody's, along with Standard and Poor's and Fitch Group, is considered one of the big 3 credit rating agencies, and this is agency of Western countries. Okay, Moody is an organization which in way ranks the credit worthiness of the borrowers. So one aspect is there. In order to rank the borrowers, a standardized rating scales is used, which measures the expected investors' loss in the event of default. Thus, it is a bond credit rating business of Moody's Corporation. That's all. So, this is a one-side story. And there is a way how Moody rate, that is rating from AAA, that is AAA, to Baa3. And what AA is a long rated rating, rated as a highest equality and lower credit risk. AA1 is rated as high quality and very low credit risks. And AA1, AA2 and AA3 is both are same, because this is a prime one short-term rating, best ability to repay short-term debt. This is the rating. And what is A1 and A2 and A3? This is rated as a upper medium grade. This is prime 1 and prime 2. And what is Baa1 and Baa2? That is rated as a medium grade with some speculative elements and moderate credit risks, in which India was earlier in the position of ranking. And what is Ba3, which Moody has transformed India into that is a prime 3. That means acceptable ability to repay short-term debt. So Moody has done his agency's job, and speculative grade is also from Ba1 to C. So we will not discuss the way and criteria of Moody, but Moody said that India faces a prolonged period of slower growth relative to the country's potential rising debt, further weakening of debt affordability, and persistent stress in parts of the financial system, all which policy making institution will be challenged to mitigate and contain. Okay, and the latest downgrade reduces India to the lowest investment grade of rating and brings Moody's, which is historically the most optimistic about India rating for the countries, in line with the other 2 main rating agencies in the world, that is Standard and Poor's and Fitch. So what does this mean? What is the reason why Moody's downgraded India's? Because weak implementation of economic reforms in 2017. This is according to Moody's rating, not according to us. Relative low economic growth over to sustained period, a significant deterioration in the fiscal position of government, that is central and state both, and the rising stress in India's financial sector. This is why Moody said that we have downgraded. Okay, and in the midst of COVID-19, Moody's downgraded the India's rating. So why we are saying that there is a Moody versus Moody's rating? We have to evaluate what our Prime Minister suggests. Because Moody's concerted efforts to put pressures on Moody's by harsh criticism of its assessment and even effort to delegitimize and may have worked in India's favor. Earlier, Modi used to tell the BRICS countries that this is a biased agency and let us form one separate agency for the developing nations. So India had for long criticized Western rating agencies. Okay, this we should learn. But during the Modi's government, the criticism got more sharper. So why during the Modi's tenure, the Western rating agencies got more criticized and criticism got more sharper. This is a matter of concern. So in May 2017, India's chief economics then advisor Subramaniam, who is against nowadays, so Subramaniam voiced what Indian government had been feeling for long. And the Western rating agencies are unfair towards India. That Arvind Subramaniam told in 2017. And the same Arvind Subramaniam is criticizing India today. This is the reason beyond the imagination. He said that the methodology of the rating firms was one of the most egregious examples of compromised analysis. This is the word of Subramaniam. Just think what position have been changed. So while Moody's must have taken the criticism in its stride, Moody's threat back its word with action could have moved it. For many years, Modi has been making efforts to convince the BRICS countries to form their own rating agencies that could rate developing countries fairly. And the global credit rating market has been dominated by just three agencies, that is Moody's, S&P, and Fitch. And a parallel agency for BRICS and other developing countries would have at least delegitimized and three global giants. Emerging economics have become the fulcrum of world economy, and such a disruptive move by them would have hit hard at the reputation of these companies. Okay, and at the Goa summit of BRICS countries in the year 2016 only, our Prime Minister Moody said that in order to further bridge the gap in the global financial architecture, we agreed to fast track the setting up of the BRICS rating agencies, because Moody is very far-sighted leader. He knew that any rating agency may hit our interest because India is moving fast. And how this proved? In May 2017, Moody's downgraded China's sovereign rating by a notch. And first for China in 28 years. And China too spoke out against the agency that time, 2017. Okay. And the Chinese finance minister said the revision was based on inappropriate methodology. Russia, Brazil, and South Africa too had voiced their concerns over fairness of Western rating agencies. Just believe, just imagine what is the meaning of the downgrading the Moody's rating. So Moody's could have figured out the China's downgrading could make it more amenable to Moody's idea of BRICS rating agencies. So this is the background. And then at that time, Moody's U-turn, and after a gap of 13 years, US-based Moody's today that time upgraded India's sovereign credit rating by a notch of Baa2 due to this pressure only, with a stable outlook. And the reason cited was the improved growth prospects driven by economic and institutional reforms. And then in 2015, the rating outlook was changed to positive from stable. So this is the history of Moody's, and India's Moody's swings we can see witness from 1988 in the time of Rajiv Gandhi and till the Moody's. That is a fluctuating mood according to the political stability or disabilities. So why Moody did the downgrade happen? Because the poor growth has been made worse by worsening government at both state and central level. Each year the central government has failed to meet the fiscal deficit. This is true, but this was the not right time to present the report. And what is the implication? They explained implication is lower risk is better because it allows government and companies of the country to raise debts at the lower rate of interest. So Moody's outlook on economic growth and per capita income is expect India's real GDP to contract by 4% in the current financial year. Thereafter, it expects a sharp recovery in 2021-22. But over the longer time, it states growth rates are likely to be materially lower than in the past. It states that the prolonged period of slower growth may dampen a pace of improvement in lower standard. So Modi's statement is a contradictory. So Fitch slashes whole the globe global scenario. And Fitch slashes 2020 globe growth forecast by minus 4.6%. When whole globe is in the negative trend, why we are focusing only on India's negativity? So we have to think that India has had a very strengthening lockdown policy that has lasted a lot longer than initially expected, and incoming economic activity data have been spectacularly very weak. According to Fitch rating, India is now expected to see a 5% decline in growth in the current financial year. So this is due to lockdown only, and everybody knows that in lockdown period, economy has been slumps down. This is obvious. There is no meaning of publishing any rating and no believing on any agency's rating. We should not concern of that. And there are many others review also. And in the latest financial stability review, the members countries of the Eurozone have seen sovereign debt rise from 86% GDP in 2019 to 100% in 2020, with debt reaching especially high levels in Italy and Greece. This is globe scenario. So we should not talk India in an isolate manner, okay? This stems from running very large budget deficit this year, mostly in the range of 6 to 8% GDP in those countries. So this is the scenario of whole world. And the there is one more institution called Economist of Deloitte of Canada. This is a global economics network and diversified group of economists that produce relevant and interesting thought-provoking ideas and data. And one of the key concerns about the post-lockdown economic recovery is the potential slowdown is a labor productivity. This is a very realistic concern. So there are many more rating agencies who are concerning of realistic view, and there is some evidence that on average workers tend to less productive when working remotely than when physically in the office. And since remote work is likely to remain a significant part of doing business until a vaccine is fully deployed, aggregate productivity is likely to suffer. This is a realistic view. So this could be further exacerbated by the physical distancing rules in retail, finance, transport and other services producing sectors. And the new restrictions will likely to increase costs and require investment in potentially non-productive capital. In the absence of the productive gains, the rising operating costs are expected to put downward pressure on wages or upward pressure on the prices and make a slow recovery scenario much more likely. So this is how to analyze. So this is a Deloitte Global Economics Network which is saying something other than Moody's view. Okay, and we know that global economies prior to COVID-19 was undergoing structural changes that are still affecting business. Okay, and this includes issues such as the aging of the labor force, the rising importance of the imagination to economic growth, and policies aimed to addressing climate change. And second, some of the existing trends have been accelerated by COVID-19. The pandemic has greatly accelerated the shift towards digital adoption and consumption and is likely to rapidly speed up the deployment of artificial intelligence, that is AI, and use of big data. And the future of work is also being transformed by accelerated automation and the shift to remote work, which is likely to linger even after the economy is reopened. And lastly, they said that the pandemic has also created new trends that did not exist before, including changes in consumers' behavior around health and trust. So Moody doesn't see these all things. So we have a futuristic view, and Moody's rating this is unwanted time. And first, let us get the issues in perspective. Rating agencies are simply doing their job, okay? And we have to trust on our leadership, our reforms, our economic package, our Atmanirbharta package. So what should we respond? As G.M. Keynes famously said, that the politician will do the right thing, but only after exploring all the other possibilities. So Modi will do the right thing after exploring all the possibility, and he's explored and get back and offered the economic stimulus package and said corporate world that we have to get back our growth. So the top priority now should be to get our growth back. Okay, so what we have a favorable factors, we should be aware of or strengthen. Our current accounts is firmly under control. Forex reserves is at more than 485 billion US dollar and an all-time high. Is keeping the stock market resilient, and the rupee is stable and inflation is under control. So a single party majority government with a charismatic Prime Minister Modi provides the right setting for the bold reforms. And reforms we will back on track as the emerging market with the greatest potential. So Moody's rating agencies gave the opposition leader to hit Moody's by saying that global rating agency by saying that is a state of above junk. Okay, so this is a matter for opposition leader or a few economists, but the government has already announced the stimulus package of more than 20 trillion rupees to deal with this stimulus package, and so maybe there is a trouble, but we will hit back and we will come forward through our economic package, and our economic situation will naturally hit by the COVID-19, but we have to evaluate this issue with Moody's versus Modi, because we have to move to V-shaped recovery path, and Prime Minister Modi declared the package stimuli, monetary and reform package to reform, perform and transform the Indian economy. So we have to evaluate this and be prospective and evaluate the India's role in this COVID-19, and there is a very planned strategy through PPP model, through traditional knowledge base, from vocal for local, and from inclusion the rural artisan of skill enhancement and to sustain rural development economy. So we have opportunity. We have big rural market, we have a village tourism services, and we have to modernization of infrastructure and reposition of urban amenities. So what next? Next is the step to get back our growth rate, and we have a opportunity for health sector. So what Prime Minister Modi used to say, follow the road, ROAD. That means responsibility, ownership, accountability and discipline. And that's why Modi said to the CII that opportunities is waiting for you, and he framed CII as champions of Indian inspiration.